Hey there, friends. Today I'm going to be doing something that I choose, but I always feel a little bit guilty about. I feel like I should only be doing things from the request wheel. I'll get back to them soon, but I'm trying to tell myself it's my channel and I can do what I want, but it's hard. Anyway, so because it is Black Friday, I thought why not celebrate the horror that is today. Though honestly, Black Friday is less of a thing now. As someone who has been in retail for way too long. I remember when it definitely was more of a thing. The three kind of retail horrors I have under my belt that helps me get jobs when I interview for more retail is always I worked the 60th anniversary at Disneyland during the in merchandise where I had about a 2 to 3 hour line just to buy pins. I worked the 7th Harry Potter book midnight book release at Barnes & Noble, and I've worked Black Friday at Toys R Us. So I know the horrors that are Black Friday. And there is a musical called Black Friday. For those who are musical theater-y inclined and have not seen Black Friday, give a very brief summary and also highly recommend it. It's done by the production team Star Kids, who are most famous for doing a Harry Potter musical. That whole series also did a Batman musical. They used to do a lot of parody musicals, which were all very fun. My favorite being Twisted, the kind of Wicked meets Aladdin for Jafar's story, and the music is so good. It's such good music. And famously, that's where Darren Criss was before he went on Glee. So that's where I knew him from when he appeared on Glee. Their stuff is great. Recently, they've been doing a series, that are kind of known as like the Hatchetfield musicals. They all take place in the same time of Hatchetfield, but each musical is in sort of a slightly altered reality, like just slightly different universe. I guess they're parallel universes from each other, and they're all horror musicals, and they're great. The first one being The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, which is Invasion of the Body Snatchers with a musical twist, Black Friday, this one, and then Nerdy Prudes Must Die, which is maybe my favorite musical they've ever done. And it's crazy being a fan of them for this many years and to have one of their new ones be my favorite is cool. Black Friday is great. It might be the weakest of the three only because all of them are so good. This is also a big deal to me because it is the only Star Kid musical I saw in person. I got to see it live. It was really amazing. And the plot of it being a bunch of people in a mall trying to get the new hit toy of the year for their children, and that hit toy is the conduit for an eldritch otherworldly god to spawn into this reality is kind of it. And so the need for the doll gets a little extreme. Everything becomes very Lord of the Fliesy. It's pretty great. So there we go. That is the plot of Black Friday to a small degree. There's a lot more going on, obviously, but that is the little bit. And I thought that it would be fun to look at. I saw the musical in person when it first happened several years ago, and then I saw it once when it first appeared on YouTube, because they're all for free on YouTube, which is really cool and done by it's not bootlegs or anything. It's the production company puts them out. The Team Star Kid puts them out, and they're really great. So you should definitely go check them out for free on YouTube. But yeah, I thought it'd just be fun to cover one since I haven't seen the musical in a very long time. So I wanted to hear the big. This is the number that is the big. The toy store is opening, and everyone's losing their minds to get the big toy, which just feels like of all the stuff I do when I talk about Ren music on here. It's all very somewhat if not anti-capitalist, we'll say critical of capitalism. And why not listen to the song that is sarcastically a love letter to capitalism? All right, let's boop. Be sure I'm actually recording this time as opposed to the last video where the recording got all wacky because I didn't press a button because I'm stupid. Let's go.
All right, people. The doors are now opening.
The doors! They're opening the doors!
They're opening the doors!
They're opening the door!
Please enter the store.
The horror I have every time I go to work and see people outside the store. I'm just like, why? Don't be here. Please. Because I work in returns, and so if I see them carrying anything, I'm like, oh, you're my immediate problem. Very, very, yeah, no, please don't. Please don't. I'm barely awake. I can't handle this.
In an orderly fashion. Those here to pick up a Tickle Me Wiggly. You can get those at the checkout counter, but remember, they are first come, first serve, so stay in line.
Welcome to Toy Zone. It's world renowned, the palace for all of your undergrown. It's a pageant for the gallant parents who are slightly unbalanced. We're slashing prices, cause you got vices that come in a variety of sizes. You see a deal, I see a meal, but only one of us is getting a steal.
I forgot, this is the one that kept throwing me because I'd never seen them do a recording of one of their musicals where like there was different angles from the camera, and it kept kind of tripping me out when they had like a shot over the character Lex's shoulder shooting at I forget the character names for the most part. I also don't remember everyone's last name. I am a Star Kid fan, but I'm not like, I don't know everyone super well. So I know it's Corey, but I forget his last name. Yeah, that kind of threw me. I have to say, as someone who did briefly, I worked seasonally at Toys R Us once. I was genuinely, I shouldn't have been shocked, but I was genuinely shocked at how much like my manager was this dude. 100%. Like, truly, because I had wanted to work at Disneyland, but it was too far away, and I think I had applied, but I didn't quite know what I was, it's very specific on how to apply to Disneyland. They're really, really, really specific on who they hire. And I got it eventually, because someone kind of gave me some advice on how to frame the interview. But, yeah, first time around, didn't get it, which a lot of people don't. And so I ended up at Toys R Us for the season, and so I was ready to be like, yeah, kids. I had just finished doing assistant teaching in preschool, so like I was very like, oh yeah, you know, I love little kids, blah blah. And these people were very much just like, it doesn't matter. Don't bother talking to the kids. It's not important. They don't have the money. The parents have the money. Concentrate on the parents. That's what matters. It was so much about. It was only about. Yeah, I get it. It's a toy store. But like I eventually became the go-to person that they would just start turning, even though I was seasonal, turning people to if they had a Christmas list from their kid, because I could translate it, because I was reading, you know, 4 and 5-year-old writing all the time at school. So I became that person. But it was just it just felt so sad of just like, ignore the children. They don't matter. They don't have the cash on them. It was so crazy. That's why Toys R Us didn't do so well. I know it's not, but I mean, like, hey, Toys R Us, major part of my childhood. But
I see a meal, but only one of us is getting a steal. Did you know if you spend money, your kids will love you, maybe? We're slashing prices, it's brutality, makes me question my morality. When our doors are open to the public, don't you want it? For us capitalists, we are honest. Come for the scope and grandeur. When our doors are open, traveling is part of the allure. Yes, our doors are open to you.
Trampling is part of the allure. Oh my god, I am just never someone who ever shopped on Black Friday. Too terrified. If anyone ever watches this video, I don't know if they will, but if they do, and they do have some Black Friday horror stories, I'd be very curious to hear about them. Because I just can't, I don't care how cheap something was. No, thankfully by the time I was like way more into, I'm upset. I love buying people gifts, but I'm a very, very, very broke person. But when I used to honestly shop irresponsibly, when I lived with my parents when I was younger and just used all my money to buy people gifts, I would, thankfully Cyber Monday was kind of starting to happen and I could do it then. Because like my anxiety would not allow me to enter any store on Black Friday I wasn't working in. My god. But I love the if you spend money your kids will love you, maybe, is very real. As someone who grew up I lived in different places. I moved a lot as a little kid, but starting from like ages 10 to like 20, I lived in a neighborhood that was a town anyway, that was, it kind of scaled more upper middle class to upper class. I was not necessarily, you know, my parents basically spent all of the money they had to get us there for my sister and I to be in a really great school district. So we could kind of afford to live there, not quite. We were middle class. But we had, like, when when we left the house we lived in forever, it ended up going for a crazy amount of money. But, because we lived in the town of Calabasas, which is where the Kardashians are from. They lived in the hills, which is where the crazy rich people were from. But, like, 3 doors down from us was, like, a kind of ratty looking house that had, like, a lot of weird chickens around it. And then the house across the street from us, like, just across the street, had, a gate and a literal, like, moat. So it was very weird. But yes, the whole, if you spend money, your kids will love you, maybe. I saw a lot of that in my friends' families. I had friends who had tennis courts. I didn't. Hey, I had very, very good Christmases. But I certainly was not, yeah, we'll just say that the difference was fascinating to watch, of people who were just like, oh, honey, it's upset. It's making a noise here. Give it a something. I definitely had friends who were like that, who just kind of like, anytime their parents didn't want to deal with them, they suddenly got a lot of gifts. That line always reminds me a lot of that.
Yes, our doors are open to you. You could have shopped any day, but you chose today. It's no wonder. Here's your number. Know your place in line. I'll pay to move up. I never skim off the top. It's also advisable that we're not liable for anyone who dies. We'll gladly give you money. I'll gladly take your money now. I want the dough with the tummy. Oh, don't we all? And here is how you get the very thing you want. The highest of holidays comes but once a year. I'm not talking about the fat man and his reindeer.
I love the fact that this is all done as a doo-wop-y song. That's so funny. I'm thinking more about the music now. I love that, like, no other song in the musical sounds like this. Jeff Blim is the one who does the music nowadays. I have not seen their new musical, Cinderella's Castle. And I'm so sad because it happened like a few months after I moved. And I would have really loved to have seen that one in person. But they perform in LA, and I don't live in LA anymore. But I love that for some reason they decided to do a doo-wop for this, which was kind of great, because even when this came out, which was, I don't remember, several years ago, it was pre-2020, it was starting to become slightly more antiquated, the whole idea of doing this for Black Friday and being at the mall. It was still going on, but it was a little bit more like, you've got options. If you want, you can just stay home and do Cyber Monday or whatever it is. Now Black Friday is like a week long online, but so I love that the music for it is a bit kind of dated as well. I don't know if that was on purpose, but I think it works really well for this, and the little like hands and stuff. It's all very cute for lyrics that are questionable.
Yeah, it's the creme brulee following the turkey day,
which requires a bottle of pepper spray.
Did you know you'll spend money, 400 on average, quite seriously? It's a factoid, you can't escape, boy. Remember, all your checks are null and void. When our doors are open, your republic is in the market. Your net worth is in my back pocket, and it weighs in my back. When our doors thrust open, I'm your annual entrepreneur. Yes, our doors are open. Oh, our doors are open. Yes, our doors.
That face is real. Yeah, I was like, oh, you're getting all this money. How are your workers doing? Are they making any money today? Black Friday. I don't remember if you got time and a half on Black Friday. Probably not. Disneyland we didn't. That's because Disneyland didn't have a Black Friday. But every Black Friday I had to deal with a bunch of people asking, like, oh, do you have a Black Friday sale? I'm like, we're a theme park. No, we don't. Yeah, but like, you know, you're a store. I'm like, we're a theme park store. Like, stores at the mall for Disney are different entities. They have Black Friday sales probably. Not here. It's the same question. And it's not a dumb question. But you know, the constant like, where's your clearance section? We don't have one. We're a theme park. We don't do clearance sections. We don't do sales sections. We don't even, if you find like a messed up item on the floor, so people will try to be like, oh, well, this one's got like a dent in it. Can I get can I get a discounted price for it? I'm like, no, we're going to take it away from you and then damage it. Because as Disney, we don't want any of our, any product to go out that is even slightly off, because it messes with the image. So yeah, no, I don't believe we got time and a half during those days. Or double time, whatever it is. My sister just worked Thanksgiving yesterday. She got time and a half. But my store was closed. That was amazing. Because I've never... Yeah. It's been a long time since I've worked at a store that actually closes on holidays. Because Disney is open all the days. Which means I work all the days. You know what? I wish they gave Corey more songs. I mean, like, I guess... Technically, he's probably not as strong a singer as... I mean, I know he's not as strong a singer as some of the others, but I think he's got a fine voice. And he just puts so much into his songs. I can't remember the last time he had one. Maybe back during, I think it was Trail to Oregon. They made an Oregon Trail musical. It was fantastic. It's very, very funny. He has a song in that. But that's about the last time I remember him having a song. I think his songs are fun.
Open. Oh, our doors are open. Yes, our doors are open. Give us your fucking money. Give us your fucking cash. Give us your fucking money. It's where it's at. Oh, I like to touch my money.
Did you know if you spend money, your kids will love you? Maybe they're slashing prices.
It's insanity.
Do we have any morality when the doors are open?
I love that little note of, like, at first it was them just doing the doo-wop thing, him singing everything, and then by the end, they are repeating his lines back to him, and then he is in control of when they start and stop singing. Is a very kind of subtle way of showing that the need for these things kind of learn to control us is great.
Thank you very much for your generosity. Your donations are gladly accepted. Good morning!
Pause for heater. So there we go. Back to something I did for fun today. I considered doing the second song, Feast or Famine, which is fantastic. But I have to go to work. It's Black Friday, I have to go to work. Even though thankfully my store does not really do Black Friday. I have no idea what it'll look like, but I know we don't do sales. So off I go to retail land after watching that. Seems appropriate. All right, well, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody. And please check out the musical if you like musicals, even if you don't like musicals. Try The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals, which you should start with. If you want to watch Black Friday, I would still start with The Guy Who Didn't Like Musicals. It's wonderful. And, you know, maybe you'll have fun.